Hi, I'm Felix Harder, fitness coach and Amazon bestselling author. Today I want to show you how to build muscle and lose fat with a workout program that is based on science and one that applies exercise strategies that are proven to get you results. Now, my approach is different from other courses out there. I want you to understand how your body works and what exactly triggers long-term muscle growth. For this, we will look at the theory behind effective workouts and then design a program that is fit for you as a beginner. In the program, I will not only give you all the exercises you need, but also a step-by-step muscle building formula and a step-by-step fat loss formula. We will go over the most important rules of nutrition and what you need to focus on. This includes talking about the most common beginner mistakes and how you can avoid them. To help you train with perfect form, you also get access to training videos, and as a bonus, I included my 100-page ebook Gym Basics with 48 additional exercises. There is also a private Facebook group for all my students so they can ask questions, interact, and share their success stories. It's great to keep you motivated and connect with each other. I want to thank you for checking out my course, and if you liked it so far, be sure to read the description for more details and watch the preview clips. Hi, and welcome to my science-based workout program. This course is designed to teach you the exact steps that are proven to make you gain muscle and get fit. To give you a clear overview of what you will learn, let us go over the four main parts of the program. Part 1 is the introduction, in which we are right now. Part 2 will go over the science behind building muscle and losing fat. Many people don't even know that there are scientifically proven strategies that you can use to reach your fitness goals. If you have taken one of my courses before and are familiar with my Simple Muscle blog, you know that I want my students to work out smart and not only hard. So in this section, I will explain the best exercise and diet strategies and show you how to implement them correctly. Part 3 is all about the right workout plan. Here we will talk about the basics of strength training and what kind of exercises you should be doing. This also includes exercise videos and a tutorial on the correct warm-up and the role of cardio in your workout. Of course, it also includes a workout routine designed especially for beginners. The last part covers a topic that is often overlooked by personal trainers and fitness coaches. The right motivation and goal setting is just as important as the right diet and workout. In order to reach your fitness goals, you have to know how to set them correctly. Then you have to come up with a series of smaller milestones that lead up to your big goal. We will talk about how to do all of this, and you will get my 4 most effective tips on how to stay motivated in the long run. As I promised in the promo video, you're also invited to join the Simple Muscle Academy on Facebook, which is a private group where students can ask questions and share their success stories and motivation tips. You can find the link to this group in the bonus lecture at the end of the program. Now, before we start with the course, let me ask you one more question. Are you ready to build muscle like never before and get in the best shape of your life? Then let's start. Now that you know the general structure of the program, here is a more in-depth overview of each lesson. If you don't need a detailed overview, you can skip this video and watch the next one where we start with the actual program. So like I said before, part 1 is the introduction with the general course overview and the more detailed lesson overview. Part 2 starts off with the most common mistakes beginners make and how to avoid them. This includes things like the wrong exercises and placing too much focus on the wrong muscle groups. Next, I will present you what I call the muscle building formula. It's by far the simplest and most understandable concept I know for teaching the science behind muscle growth. You really want to pay attention to this because it will give you an advantage over 95% of the beginners out there who have no clue what they're doing. The same applies to correct fat loss, which I teach in the fat loss formula. Too often people go from one diet to the other without ever seeing any results. For you, this will stop today. Of course, when you teach people about how to gain muscle and lose fat, diet and nutrition always play a major role, which is what we will talk about in Lesson 6. Lesson 7 shows you which supplements you need and which ones are a waste of your money. And trust me, there are a lot that fall in the second category. Finishing up part 2 of the program, you will learn how to create a bulking and a cutting diet. If you don't know what these are, don't worry, you will in a few minutes. Basically, they make the process of gaining muscle and losing fat a lot faster and more efficient. Part 3 is all about the right workout plan and everything that has to do with strength training. We will start by looking at the ideal beginner routine in Lesson 10.
This also includes talking about what role cardio should play in your workout. I know for many people it's very important to get a six-pack, which is why I also recorded a lesson on how to get one. It's a lot simpler than you would think, and this lesson will definitely surprise you. After that, I talk about some fundamentals like how to progress and see results in the long term, how to warm up correctly, as well as the most important aspects of lifting form. As a bonus, you also get exercise videos for all the exercises in the workout routine and my 100-page ebook, Gym Basics. The ebook includes 48 additional exercises with pictures and instructions on how to do them correctly. Of course, you also get access to the Simple Muscle Academy on Facebook, and like I said earlier, the link to the group is found in the bonus lecture at the end of the program. In part 4, I have prepared 2 lessons on goal setting and motivation. First, we will go over the process of setting SMART fitness goals. The SMART strategy stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely goals, and it is designed to get you to think about your goals in a way that will make it easier for you to reach them. And last but not least, I share my tips on how to stay motivated in the long run. This lesson will help you get over the 10-week mark where many beginners tend to quit and revert to their usual lifestyle. To end this instruction, let me tell you one thing. If you follow this course and the strategies in it, I promise you will see results. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Q&A section in the Facebook group or send me a message here on Udemy. Before we start with the program, I want to go over a number of beginner mistakes that will keep you from building muscle and getting in shape. It's important that you learn to identify these mistakes because they can cost you months of hard work and no results. I know because I've made many of them myself back when I started working out. In fact, I don't blame anyone for making a mistake. After all, it's only human. But I do believe that you should always educate yourself and try to get better at what you're doing. So let's go over my list of the 6 most common muscle building mistakes. The number one beginner mistake is not following a structured workout program. I can guarantee you that doing some random exercises without any strategy will bring you little to no results. Unfortunately, you see a lot of people at the gym doing exactly that. They pick up a set of dumbbells and do hundreds of bicep curls. In their workouts, they usually place too much emphasis on their arms and chest and not enough on their legs. What they don't know is that training the same muscle group each workout leaves them with not enough time to recover and costs them potential gains. Now, on the other hand, a structured workout plan, like the one in this course, takes recovery time into consideration and will make life a lot easier for you. The second big mistake you see many beginners doing is training like a professional bodybuilder. Oftentimes, they found a Ronnie Coleman or Arnold Schwarzenegger workout online and think it's best to imitate them. The problem with this approach is that these workouts are designed for people with decades of lifting experience. They usually include way too much overall workout volume and would wear out any normal person within a few days. You also have to keep in mind that most professional bodybuilders take steroids. This completely changes how their bodies function and what kind of workload they can stand. Another common mistake when wanting to build muscle is doing the wrong exercises. We will go over the best exercises for beginners later in the course. For now, you need to know that there are 2 main categories of exercises: isolation exercises and compound exercises. Isolation exercises work only one muscle when doing the movement, whereas compound exercises work several muscles at the same time. Unfortunately, many beginners focus on isolation exercises, such as bicep curls, when they should be doing heavy compound lifts like the squat or the bench press instead. Try to also avoid machines, as their guided movements tend to neglect the small stabilizer muscles that are used when training with free weights. Number 4 on my list is using bad form. Jerking or bouncing the weight is not only less effective, it also increases your risk of injury. Please make sure to watch the exercise videos in this course to learn how to use correct form for each exercise. Most of the time, the reason why people use bad form is because they didn't choose the right weight, which brings me to mistake number 5. Because beginners want to get stronger fast, many of them use more weight than they can actually handle. This can cause serious joint problems and will hurt you in the long run. The other extreme is using too little weight. When working out, you have to make sure to place enough tension on your muscle to break down muscle tissue. If the weight you're using is too light, the muscle has no incentive to grow because it can easily do the workout you're putting it through. The last common mistake on the list is not applying progressive overload. Not only should your weight not be too light, it also needs to increase over time to constantly force your muscle to adapt to the increased tension. People that always train with the same weight, and this includes most beginners, will pretty quickly see no more muscle gains. They oftentimes think that they need to switch to a different exercise when all they had to do was increase the weight by a tiny fraction. Later in the course, I will teach you how to safely apply progressive overload in your workout to make sure you see long-term results. In this segment, I want to go over the necessary theory behind building muscle and strength. Obviously, bodybuilding and fitness is a huge field, so there's no way to include everything in this video. But the great thing is, as a beginner, you don't have to know everything to see results fast. This is what many fitness gurus and magazines don't tell you. They bombard you with all these different muscle building hacks and workouts that it's pretty much impossible not to get confused. There's simply too much information out there. This makes getting in shape seem like rocket science, when in fact it's a pretty straightforward process. My presentation is designed to teach you the exact steps you need to follow without any fluff or bro science. I call this the muscle building formula, and in my opinion, it's the best way of explaining the essence of successful bodybuilding. As you can see, there are really only 3 different variables that will determine your success when wanting to build muscle. First, of course, you need to train, preferably with weights, to overload your muscles and trigger growth. Then you want to consume enough calories so your body has the energy to not only continue training, but also to build more muscle tissue. And last, you have to give your body time to rest so it can recover and adapt to the new stress level. Now, this all might seem like basic stuff, but once we look at each aspect of the muscle building formula more closely, you will see that the devil is in the detail. Let's start with the right training. When creating our workout and coming up with the right exercises, we need to keep in mind that our end goal is to build more overall muscle. There are some exercises better suited for this purpose than others. They're called compound exercises or compound movements. Instead of targeting just one muscle, compound movements work several muscles at once by utilizing multiple joints when doing the exercise. This allows you to lift more overall weight, which in turn will lead to more muscle growth. The most important compound exercises, and therefore the most important exercises in general, are the barbell squat, the deadlift, the bench press, and the military press. Any good workout needs to be built around these 4 lifts, which are best done with fairly heavy weight and in a lower rep range. What makes these lifts so great is that they engage almost your entire body. Because the weight is placed on a barbell, you will also have to develop the strength to keep the barbell in place during the motion. This trains the small stabilizer muscles like no machine or isolation exercise can. Once you have included the big 4 in your workout, there is another thing that is just as important to keep in mind. It's called the concept of progressive overload, and it basically says that in order to force a muscle to continue growing over long periods of time, you have to progressively increase the tension placed on it. Plain and simple, this means you have to get stronger to get bigger. Again, this might seem like basic stuff, but so few people get it. They think that they have to switch up their exercises every few workouts to confuse the muscle, or do all kinds of crazy rep schemes, when the truth is that this will have little to no impact on your results. Instead, stick to the big 4 exercises and focus on getting stronger each workout. Now, how is progressive overload applied correctly? During your first few workouts, you'll probably be able to add more weight to the bar each week, but as you get stronger, progress will slow down. This is normal, and at some point or another, you might also hit a plateau. Then you have to come up with a workout plan that enables you to get stronger even when adding more weight isn't an option. I have developed a strategy that does exactly that, which I'll share with you in the lesson on progressive overload. Okay, let's quickly talk about cardio before going to the nutrition part of the muscle building formula. What role cardio will play in your workout really depends on your goals. I, for example, am not a big fan of cardio because I have a really fast metabolism. This means that even when I sit around all day, my body will burn a lot of calories. Before starting to work out, I was a really skinny guy, and my main concern was to pack on size. I remember eating big amounts of food, and had I been doing a lot of cardio, then I would have had to eat even more. If this applies to you as well, then you should really limit your cardio at first. Because remember, the purpose of cardio is to burn calories, which is only helpful when you're trying to lose weight and not when you're trying to build muscle. While it is possible for beginners to do both at the same time, a calorie deficit will greatly reduce your body's ability to grow muscle. For now, just keep in mind that when you want to build muscle, less calories burned is actually a good thing. That doesn't mean, of course, you shouldn't be doing any cardio at all. It's a great way to train your heart and lungs, and it will help raise your overall fitness level. This brings me to the second part of the muscle building formula. Nowadays, many people think of calories as evil things that need to be avoided. But in fact, when wanting to build muscle, there is almost nothing more important than a caloric surplus. Imagine you have a house and you want to expand it. You want to build another floor on top. What do you need? Extra bricks. When building muscle, calories are your bricks. They measure the energy stored in our food. Without this energy, your body will not be able to grow more muscle tissue, which in turn renders your exercise pretty much pointless. This might come as a surprise to you. I know that many people think they should always be eating less calories. They think that eating more will only make them fat, and they're usually afraid of going into caloric surplus. This is where good versus bad calories come into play. In theory, you could only eat pizza and ice cream and you would quickly reach your caloric surplus. Obviously, this is not what is meant when talking about taking in enough healthy calories. You really need to make sure to watch your proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, and make sure to not get them from sources such as fast food. Besides your workout and diet, recovery is the third main factor on your road to muscle glory. What you need to know is that the exercise itself works only as a trigger for muscle growth. During your training, you overload the muscles and break down muscle fibers. If you provide your body with the right nutrition and enough time to recover, they will grow back larger in order to withstand higher workloads in the future. Keep in mind that muscles don't grow while you train, but afterwards. The body builds stronger muscle fibers only when it has time to recover, and this is done for the most part while we sleep. You should be getting at least 7 to 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep per night. Anything below 7 hours and you'll sacrifice possible muscle gains and even your health in general. If you find yourself under a lot of stress or simply can't sleep that long, try taking regular naps throughout the day. There are also other ways to maximize your recovery ability, like meditating, massages, or even prescription drugs. However, they can only enhance your rest and should never substitute a good night of sleep. The bench press is one of the most famous, if not the most famous exercise out there. It's a full body compound exercise that primarily works your chest, shoulders, and triceps. When done right, it's the most effective movement to gain upper body strength and muscle because it's the upper body exercise you'll lift most weight on and thus create the greatest amount of tension. With your eyes under the bar, lie on the bench. Lift your chest and squeeze your shoulder blades. Your feet should be flat on the floor. Now place each pinky on the ring marks of the bar. Your grip should be a little wider than shoulder width, and you want to hold the bar in the base of your palm with straight wrists. Dismount the bar by straightening your arms and move it over your shoulders as you keep your elbows locked. While inhaling, lower it to your chest. Your elbows should be at a 75-degree angle. During this motion, your forearms should remain vertical. While exhaling, press the bar upward until your arms are extended. The proper form is pressing the bar in a diagonal line from shoulders to chest and back up. This increases the distance but prevents shoulder impingement. Repeat for the recommended amount of repetitions and then re-rack the bar. Never bounce the bar off your chest, and you should always be in control of the weight. Please don't bench press using the suicide grip or the thumbless grip. The barbell can slip out of your hands and drop on your chest. Rope tricep pushdowns complement the rope bicep curl very well and are based on the same dynamics. Instead of pulling the rope, you will now be pushing it down. Attach a rope attachment to a high pulley and grab it with your palms facing each other. Stand with a very small inclination forward and keep your upper arms close to your body. While exhaling, push the rope down and bring each side of the rope to the side of your thighs. Contract the triceps at the end of the movement. While inhaling, bring the rope slowly up to the initial position. While I recommend doing this exercise with the rope attachment, you can also use an EZ bar attachment or a V-angled bar. The movements will be the same, just make sure to lift the weight in a controlled manner.